Okay, I know what you're thinking. Morgan, this isn't a channel for astrology. I know. It's not a channel for anything. I warned you about this. I believe that it is my duty as a white female to at some point make a video about astrology. So here I am, and here we go. This is going to be questions for an Aquarius. I also just want to take a second before the video starts and give a quick disclaimer that if you're wondering, Morgan, why should I trust you to represent Aquarians? I have an Aquarius, Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Stellium, and Midheaven, okay? I won't let you down. So here I have made a wheel. It's so hard to see on a screen. I have a wheel here of questions for Aquariuses, for Aquarians, Aquarii. I'll just put it up on the screen, actually. How's that? That better? Okay, and I have also, by the way, customized it for your entertainment. So as I spin the wheel, it's going to play a random fun song. I'm going to answer these questions to the best of my ability. I have not prepared any answers. I'm just winging it. I even wrote all the questions down. I didn't for 1 second think about any of the answers, okay? And so now, here we go. We can be friends if, let me see. I want to say, like, we can just be friends. Like, there's no if. But specifically, if, 1, you understand my SpongeBob references. 2, we have a similar taste in music, or if you're open to me showing you new music. 3, as long as you're nice to strangers and animals, that's really all it takes. Like, I'm not picky. As long as you're funny also. All I care about is laughing and being nice to people and enjoying good music. So we can be friends if you have those qualities. Next.
My philosophy on relationships.
I don't know if I necessarily have a specific philosophy. You know, Aquarius get a lot of shit for, like, not even understanding what a relationship is. Like we just don't fall in love. It's not that we don't fall in love. We're just... we just prefer to avoid being in love. I'm gonna say, if you have baggage from past relationships that you haven't worked through yet, I think it's okay to be honest with yourself and with the other person that you're not ready to be in a relationship yet until you work through that. Because then people are going to get into relationships and have all this baggage, and then potentially the other person has baggage too, and then they're going to get upset at each other because the other person is not working with their baggage. And my whole thing is, like, just it wouldn't be an issue if y'all had worked through it prior to getting in the relationship, because it's not the other person's job to, like, heal you, you know? So don't make it their job. Don't get upset because they're not acting the way that you want them to based off of your relationship trauma. Because I think if you can just get, if two people come into a relationship and there is nothing that they got going on in their own life, then it's not going to affect the relationship. If you got trust issues, work on it. Because then you're never going to trust this person who's being totally faithful to you, or maybe they're not. This is going to sound very direct, but coming from an Aquarius, I'm just going to be blunt as fuck. I think if you have trust issues and you're in a relationship, I think it's something that you need to heal regardless of if they're faithful or not. And hear me out before you get upset. It's only your fault, I feel like, if you are choosing to stay in the relationship if they are cheating. And that's why you have trust issues, is because they're cheating. If they're not cheating and you still have trust issues, it's also still your fault for staying in that relationship and getting into that relationship in the first place, because you know that that was something that you needed to heal in order to have trust in other people. And if you knew that you had trust issues, you shouldn't be jumping into relationships till you get that shit figured out, bro. And that's my honest opinion. Sorry, not sorry. I hate giving brutal honesty, but I know that it's important for people to know, so I'm gonna say it anyway. And that's my advice. You don't have to take it if you don't want to, but I'm trying to help you because I love you. What's next?
I wish more people in the world cared about
Animals, always. I wish more people in the world cared about, like, small businesses and people that are, you know, trying to do something with their life without having, like, you know, a 9 to 5 clock in, clock out job. Like, it's people don't understand, and I mean, like, I guess I should say older people don't understand how genuinely hard it is to actually get by in this world right now. Like, there is no job that's gonna pay me enough right now with where I'm at in my life. And a lot of people are like this, where they can't get a job right now. And if they can, it's like there's no point in getting a job right now, because that place is gonna pay me way less than what I deserve, and it's gonna put me through absolute hell waking up at these ridiculous hours and working these ridiculous hours and working with shitty people and being treated shittily by customers that don't give a shit about me. And I'm still not going to be able to afford to, like, move out. So, of course people are starting small businesses right now. Yeah, obviously, if people have a talent, they're going to want to, you know, use that to their advantage instead of being treated like shit by a corporate company. And I think people need to be more supportive of those who are starting small businesses. Like, a bunch of people that I know, including myself. So yeah, I just wish that more people had more sympathy for those of us just trying to get by without hating our lives completely.
a song that everyone should listen to.
Oh my god, dude. I have so many. So many. My first response is going to be, I heard that question as, what's a song that'll make everybody cry? I partially blame my Scorpio moon for this, and I apologize for letting it slip. The answer is Ghost by Badflower. Any song by Badflower, honestly. Also, Graffiti The World by Rehab. And I will include links for that in the description. The first song, it'll make you cry. Trigger warning also. The second song, I feel like, just puts things into perspective of how the world is right now, and like the things that are keeping us so divided and how messed up the laws are. And it's, I'm just now realizing it's such an Aquarius type of song. It's like the government is like ruining us. Even the background of this choice wheel is aliens with skateboards, and it says not fond of the police. For real, just go listen to this song. It's so good. So good. Also, just gonna throw it out there. Any single song from the American Idiot album by Green Day. Absolute banger. Next one.
Yeah, baby.
A conspiracy theory that I'm fully invested
Mermaids! Mermaids! I have been invested in this for so long. Years, actually. Dude, okay, here's my theory, right? Let me start by saying this. I believe that mermaids are still around because there is still like 80% of the ocean that we have yet to discover, right? Okay. With that in mind, hear me out. I think that as we evolved back when we were like in the prehistoric times, we were in like our most primal form, but I think that there was some kind of split in the population where one group had to evolve based on their surroundings, which were totally different than the other groups. And the first group, I think, had to evolve around water and the ocean. I don't think, like, if whatever happened with this split, like some kind of divide in the land, and I think the first group might not have had as much land to work with, so they had to evolve and adapt to the ocean, okay? And that's where we are on the other side, is we had more land to work with and adapt to. So we ended up, you know, as we are, as we do, humans on land. And the other ones obviously have found a way to adapt to where they can stay hidden, but they know how to survive underwater. So, like, obviously half of them are still human because that's how they started out. But as evolution went on, they, you know, evolved to have the body parts that would benefit them the most underwater. And just because we haven't found them yet doesn't mean that they don't exist. That's my theory. And I'm sticking to that until I die. Next.
useless talent I have.
Where do I start, bro? There's so many. First of all, I can say the alphabet backwards. ZYXWVUTSRQPONMLKJIHGFEDCBA. I can make a helicopter sound with my mouth. I can clap with one hand using both my hands. I'm double jointed in every joint in my body. My elbows bend backwards. I have this party trick that I do called the invisible bong. I can juggle. I can balance a peacock feather on my nose. The list literally goes on for so long, bro. I'm a living, breathing party trick, honestly. That's it. That's just the reality of it. And I'm cool with that. I can also put on a hat like this.
My least favorite placement in my natal chart.
What's my least favorite placement? Isn't it obvious? I'll tell you what it is. It's my Scorpio moon. I genuinely think that anybody with a water moon has a really hard time in life when it comes to their emotions, but specifically, if you have a water moon and an air sun, bro, I'm sorry. Because you got so much emotion going on, okay? Especially in my case, and if you're a Scorpio moon, you know this. Scorpios are all about intensity and being deep and misunderstood and like going through so much hell. And when it's in your moon sign that rules your emotions, yeah, you kind of go through hell a lot. And it does have perks, don't get me wrong. Like, I do really appreciate the fact that I can feel things much deeper than a lot of people. And I'm very blessed to have so much empathy for people and being able to understand where they're coming from and what they're going through and being able to feel that hurt so that I can help them genuinely and make them feel understood. And that actually goes along really well with the Aquarius sun humanitarian part of me, because it's like, that's all I want to do is help people. But the only downside of that is that sometimes I really wish that I didn't feel things as deeply as I do. Like, I have empathy for things that aren't even real. For like inanimate objects. I'll run into a chair and I'll apologize to it. I spend most of my time saving bugs from the kiddie pool out in my backyard. Whenever somebody comes over and we're in my garage and I see a roly-poly on the ground, I will stop everybody to tell them, hey, there's a roly-poly on the ground right there. Please be mindful of him. And I will watch him until he's out of sight to make sure he gets to safety. And so yeah, I feel things very, very deeply. But what's frustrating is that having an Aquarius sun with that is that I don't come across like I feel anything ever. Like, people just assume that I don't have emotions and that I'm just blank and that there's nothing going on in my head ever. But it's actually quite the opposite, because that's why I'm so blank on the outside, is because I'm dealing with all this chaos in my head and I gotta really work to pull myself back to reality most of the time. If you're talking to me and I'm zoned out, it's because I'm having flashbacks to my childhood, and for some reason I react the same way to it that someone would react to Nom. But yeah, I'll still say that's my least favorite placement in my natal chart. I'm sorry. It's hard.
An unusual hobby or collection that I have.
An unusual collection that I have? Souls. Next.
I love how innovative this thing is.
Me? Are you kidding me? That's like all I do is innovative shit. If you hand me like a pile of garbage, you will have like a working ceiling fan in the next like 20 minutes if you just get out of my way. Literally, that's all I do is I just take garbage and I make it not so garbage. I'm like an alchemist. I laugh at that because there's a story that's apparently a real story within my family that my grandmother, who I never met, used to crush up aspirin and snort it and then tell people that she was an alchemist for that very reason. I don't blame her. I also was told by multiple people within the family, so this is also true, okay, that she jumped out of an airplane and survived. Once I heard it from multiple people, I just stopped questioning it. I'm like, you know what? I fucking believe it. That lady's crazy. She's my hero. And I like never even met her as an adult. She's my hero, okay? I think that's the one thing that I'm definitely confident about in myself. I see the potential in everything. I see the beauty in everything and what everything could be. So most people are just gonna look at a pile of garbage and be like, it's a pile of garbage, either walk past it, throw it in the trash, like, get rid of it, get out of my sight. And I'm like, I hate seeing things go to waste. So I take every opportunity that I can to change the perspective of other people when it comes to things that aren't considered art or useful or beautiful. Just because it's not pretty doesn't mean it doesn't have potential. And I think more people need to realize that and be more grateful for the things that they have. And with that, I think I'm going to leave that here. If you did like this video and you wanted to see me upload more astrology stuff in the future, let me know in the comments. I do know a limited amount of astrology, but I'm working on it. If there's a topic you want me to talk about, or even not astrology related, leave it in the comments. I'll probably do it anyway. If you did like this video, if you could please show your support by liking, sharing, subscribing, hit that bing bong, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you again so much for being here. Go drink some water, be kind to strangers, and never trade authenticity for approval. I love you. Bye.